Let's do this.
Hello everyone, I'm Hidalgo and this is Phenom Philosophy. Now last time on this channel we did drunk philosophy. This time, as you can tell, I got 3 shots lined up and we're going to continue that special, and we're actually going to talk about objections to the Kalam cosmological argument that we discussed last week. Like I said before, the Kalam is an argument that has been popularized in recent years by William Lane Craig and other apologists like him, especially those that we find on YouTube today. So before we address objections, let's go over the Kalam one more time. So premise 1, whatever begins to exist has a cause of its existence. Premise 2, the universe began to exist. Therefore, the universe has a cause. If the universe has a cause of its existence, then that cause must be outside of space and time. The only things with those features are abstract objects and unembodied minds. Abstract objects don't have causal powers. Therefore, the cause of the universe is an unembodied mind. This unembodied mind is God, therefore God exists. Now, this is a deductive argument, meaning that if the premises are true, the conclusion must be true. So the best way to attack any type of argument of this type is to address one of the premises and demonstrate that it is false. The causal principle, which, stated again, says that whatever begins to exist has a cause. Now, while this principle may be rather intuitive, I find it to be rather deceptive. Before we dive into this objection, we need to go over a key term known as creatio ex nihilo. So creatio ex nihilo is a Latin phrase that means creation out of nothing. This is the concept that matter was created out of nothing, and what the Kalam does is get us from creatio ex nihilo to the existence of God, the only being that could accomplish this task. My objection is this: how many examples of the creation of matter out of nothing are there? In our world, when we create something, it is by using already existing materials. So how can we make assertions about concepts that we have no examples of? While the theist could imply that God used eternally existing matter to cause the Big Bang expansion of the universe, this would imply that we don't need Yahweh per se. Rather, anything could have caused the universe. So it seems that a demonstration of creatio ex nihilo would be necessary in order to affirm the first premise. Moving on, let's look at premise 5, which states that the only things outside of space and time are abstract objects and unembodied minds. Now, while I'm willing to grant the existence of abstract objects, such as numbers, I'm not so sure about unembodied minds. I'm not sure, and I'm not aware of how a mind could work outside of a material system for it to work within. Can you run your computer software without a computer? It seems not, and I would argue that the same concept applies to brains and/or computers so as to be inclusive of artificial intelligence. Therefore, minds without a physical body are not actually possible. Now, the last objection that I want to get to is what seems to be an exclusion of other hypotheses. In other words, even if we grant premises 1 through 7, how do we know that the disembodied mind that caused the universe is God, as stated in premise 8? Even if we grant that unembodied minds are possible, why only one? Like I said last week, could it not be the case that if at least one unembodied mind is possible, couldn't there be others? Think about it. If you look at how fractured and disorderly our fallen world looks, wouldn't it make more sense that it was made by a committee rather than just one being? At this point, I'm speculating about things that I couldn't possibly know. So why do theists do the same about God? In other words, if I can't be sure that the universe was caused by one being or many, how can I conclude that God exists, specifically the God of the Bible or the God of classical theism? And that's where I'm going to leave it for today. Go ahead and have a discussion in the comments, and I'll be sure to read them after these 3 shots have weared off. Well, that's all for today. So thank you so much for watching another Drunk Philosophy special. Be sure to like and subscribe, and also be sure to hit that alert button on the side right there. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. All right.